Hey guys, it's Lady V here, and I'm ready to dig into today's topic. You ready? If you're watching this video, we're going to be talking about time management. Something that I've struggled with for a long time, but I've really gotten into a place where I understand the importance of managing time and the impact that it has when setting goals. So, if you've been following me at all, you know that we're getting ready to go into a new year, and I have a custom planner to really help you develop and track goals. In fact, in that planner, I walk you through the process of developing SMART goals. I also have a video regarding SMART goals right here on my YouTube channel that you can take a peek at. But there's another aspect when setting goals, and that is time management. And that's why I want to talk to you about it today. Time management is something that I just have really struggled with over the years. But, you know, in the recent near future, probably the last year, couple years, I've really begun to understand the importance of time management and why, if you don't have a good grasp on managing your time, it's going to be that much more difficult for you to successfully accomplish your goals, right? So you have to be able to understand your time, how your time works, how to use your time in order to work towards completing the goals that you have. So there's actually a tool that I'm making available. You could click the link down below in the description of this video and download a copy of my time assessment sheet. But you all, time. Do you know that time is one of your greatest assets? It's actually the most valuable asset, because no matter what you do, you cannot turn back the hands of a clock. You can never get your time back again. So if you don't use it right, you lose it, right? You lose it. It cannot be replaced. It cannot get back. So it's that important. And so with that, I want to talk to you about how then do you assess your time? How do you identify opportunities to better manage your time and what that looks like? All right. So using the sheet that I make available in the link below, I want to give you an outline of what it looks like for you to assess your time. All right. So in the sheet, you'll see that it outlines a week in totality. And then within that week, for each day, it breaks down time sequence from 4 a.m. I believe until 10 or 11 p.m. so that you have a full day's scope, all right, for each day. The purpose of this is for you to take a look at your week-to-week commitments and figure out where your non-negotiable blocks of time are. This is important because many of you, as myself, are side hustlers, right? You've become a pro at managing a side hustle, or you have ambitions of becoming a pro of managing your side hustle. You have a 9-to-5, you have a family, you have a spouse that you care for. Maybe you're taking care of your parents, right? So you have a lot of commitments. And when you have commitments on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis, those time blocks are non-negotiable, all right? Let me teach you where you can reach it. Here's an example. So when I work Monday through Friday, right, I work a 9-to-5. So when I clock in, when I'm there at my job, that time is supposed to be dedicated to doing work that I'm being paid for. I cannot schedule tasks that are related to my side hustle during my 9-to-5. So I automatically block out my work day as a non-negotiable time frame that is already accounted for. Right now, I do have a lunch time in between the middle of that day, and I can determine how I utilize my lunch break. But in regards to my work hours, that's a non-negotiable block of time. Another thing that's non-negotiable for me is Sunday mornings, right? Because I go to church and I serve as well. So Sunday mornings are non-negotiable for me. I block that time out every week, and I refuse to schedule anything that would bring about a conflict with my serving or my attending at church. So as you're conducting your time assessment, you want to think about what your non-negotiables are. From a personal perspective, I also have something called cook nights, right? So my husband and I have come up with 2 nights a week where I commit to cooking for my family. And so I automatically need to know, how much time am I going to dedicate to cooking? Then I need to plan out in my grocery shopping in advance, or is it on those days? But for sure, I'm cooking on those days, right? So I will not schedule anything that's going to prevent me from fulfilling that obligation. So as I'm looking at my time assessment sheet, I'm going to be writing down each of those non-negotiable commitments that I have already made. Okay. Now, as you begin to do this for yourself, you're going to be writing out what your day-to-day time looks like. Okay. Then you should be filling in what your non-negotiables are. If you're a caretaker for your parents or for someone else who may have medical needs, are there regularly scheduled appointments that you have to attend? That is non-negotiable time. All right. Build that in. Maybe it's date night. Maybe you have family night once a week. Those things should also be non-negotiable because those are priorities in your life, right? I hope you're following along. So after you block in your non-negotiable time, you're going to then see gaps of open time where you have not made commitments. And in those areas, that's where you now have an opportunity to assess where you can work on your goals, whatever your goals are, right? So I know for me, I can only speak for myself at this time, but hopefully it resonates with you. I've never been an early bird person. I've always struggled with getting up early in the morning. Again, lack of time management. So that's something that I've really worked on for myself. I used to get up at 5 or 5:30 to feed the dog in the morning. Then I'd be like, hey, I could lay down for another hour, get another hour of sleep before I have to get up and get moving. Well, now I'm going to get up, feed him, and then I stay up because that's an hour in the morning that is uninterrupted where my family is still sleeping, while I can then take care of my goals. So maybe for you, if you have an open window in the morning, right, where you could potentially be getting up earlier, maybe you have health goals where you want to begin to work out on a more frequent basis, then maybe you could build in workout time within that open window, right? And as we're talking about sleeping and getting up earlier and maybe staying up late, because that could be another window of opportunity, you do also want to factor in how many hours you need for sleep. Sleep is really important because that is your body resting and resetting. And if your body does not have an opportunity to rest and or reset, then you are not at your best. You aren't thinking at your full capacity, and you really aren't any good for working on your goals. So think about that. How much time do you actually need a night, and block that out as another non-negotiable time as well that you cannot schedule anything to compromise with, all right? But often, a lot of times, we oversleep, just keeping it real. So what you want to do is build it in. So maybe think about times where you've been watching a lot of TV, or maybe you've been on social media a lot, and those are not good uses of your time. You can be using that time to potentially write a book, build a website, book a client, host a consultation, attend a workshop, take a class, whatever your goals are. You want to begin to work on your goals in those open pockets of time that you have not managed well. When you do this, it will benefit you. Here's why. Because often what we do is we set goals for ourselves, and then we try to manage those goals during the windows where we've already had commitments. And because we then get discombobulated or we get behind, we say our goals were not attainable, or we quit, right? So if you had a goal for writing a book and you thought that you were going to be able to write a book while you were at work, that was not managing your time well, because you already had an obligation to take care of work at work, right? And so we tend to do things like that. And then you get home and maybe, you're hanging out with a friend, or you're watching TV, and that's the time where you should have been working on writing your book, just using that as an example. Now, once you map out the time for working on your goals, that time now becomes a non-negotiable as well. So the same way maybe your work or your sleep or your medical appointments are non-negotiables, your time that you are now writing out to work on your goals becomes non-negotiable as well. So if you have a friend call you at the last minute and they're like, hey, I want to hang out, can we go to dinner? I haven't seen you in a while. You need to actually tell them, unfortunately, this time is taken because I have a commitment to work on my goals and get this project complete. However, I have an open window of time on this day or at this time. We can make arrangements then, but do not compromise. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself 3 months, 6 months, 1 year down the line, and you have not met your goal. And it wasn't because you weren't capable of it. It wasn't because you weren't smart enough. It wasn't because you weren't talented enough. It wasn't because you didn't have the tools that you need. It is simply because you did not manage your time well. And so time management is a huge foundational piece for you setting your goals and making sure that you're successful. So utilize the time assessment sheet that I'm making available for you down below. Take the time, all right, to assess your week commitments, your week-to-week commitments, right? Block out your non-negotiable and commitment times. Then pencil in time for you to work on your goals. What windows of time do you have to work on your goals? Then when you transition to the phase of having your planner in front of you and working on your SMART goals, as you're setting your goals, you already know the time that you'll have day to day or week to week to actually invest in successfully accomplishing your goals, all right? So this is really important. And I'm so glad you tuned in. Remember, this is all about pursuing purpose, being all that you can be and all that God has called and created you to do. And in order for that to happen, it is important to have clarity, to be good stewards, and to be focused on completing the tasks and the visions that He has given us. All right. So download the tool. Get to work. And if you haven't already, go to my website, www.vanikalewis.com, and get your copy of the Ultimate Purpose Planner. It will be an excellent tool for you to document your goals and track your progress along the way, because at the end of every year, it's important for us to know that we have successfully accomplished some things. So get your time together, faith friends, all right, and plan accordingly. That is it. Listen, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, drop them down below in the comments. I do read them, and I will respond to you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up for me, okay? And then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's going to make sure that you get alerted first when there are any new videos uploaded to this page, and you want to be on top of it so you can see what's happening and making sure that you're getting these good nuggets to apply to your life, all right? I love you. That's it. I'm out of here, okay? Bye, guys.